beautiful muses, and welcome to CosmoMuse Tarot. Today we are going to do, I'm kind of switching back to my yes, no, maybes. It seems like people are missing those. So I had sort of tried to get away from them and doing more open-ended questions, but I'm compromising. So these are going to be yes, no, maybes, but once we get into the readings, you'll see I'm kind of doing an in-between, but it is a yes, no, maybe reading. I'll leave it at that. Okay, so we have 4 piles today to choose from. Pile 1 is red Jasper. Pile 2 is Citrine. Pile 3 is blue Orca Agate. And pile 4 is Pyrite. So look over these stones and feel into which one has your aligned message. If you have more than one question, you are very welcome to go to different piles for each of those, and I will see you in your readings. Timestamps are in the descriptions. All right. Hello, pile 1. Welcome to your yes, no, maybe reading. So I want you to initially, whatever your yes, no, maybe question is, think of something around that you would like insight into, and phrase that as sort of like how, what, why, tell me, describe, that kind of thing. And we are going to look at sort of an underlying issue, some advice, like an action step around that, and then a message from your subconscious. And then after we look at that, we will get into a really kind of straightforward, simple yes, no, maybe aspect to this. But I kind of want to compromise. Sometimes I feel like the yes, no questions can be a little bit more black and white than I love doing. And I just really want people to explore maybe even why they're asking certain questions and getting into some underlying things. So I'm going to shuffle for like 30 seconds so you have a little bit of time to sort of think of something that you want to know around your, beyond yes, no, maybe, what you want to know around this question. Find a way to ask about that in a more open-ended way, how, what, why, that kind of thing. Okay, if you still don't have sort of that attachment question really clear yet, you can pause here until you feel ready for that. And then when you are ready, we will go ahead. So we're going to first look at an underlying issue around that kind of attachment question is what we'll call it. And we've got 5 of Cups. So there's something that you're either you have walked away from, you are walking away from, something that's been a disappointment around whatever this attachment question is. Some grief being felt, a heavy heart. For some of you, this may have to do with love. And I think, this is saying whatever is kind of heavy in your heart, the underlying issue here is like you need to give that some time to move through you, to deal with some grief in you. Even if you don't immediately know what that is, like maybe do some breathing practices and just feel if there's like some stuck grief in your lungs. In Chinese medicine, grief lives in our lungs. So breath can really help with getting in touch with that and just like, you know, kind of, there's something I'm feeling when I talk about breath that feels right, like something you're needing to do some deep breathing around to kind of let it move through you. Okay, let's look at an action step in connection with this. We've got 7 of Pentacles. So there is some patience also being asked of you, but in a positive way. It's sort of like while you are moving some grief through you and allowing space for something to move through you, that there's some sadness around. It doesn't mean that you can't simultaneously be planting some planting some seeds, or curating something, preparing something, planning something, doing something that's kind of laying some initial thoughts and steps and investment of time or money or energy into. There is, you know, this does show that there are kind of like, there is some fresh life up ahead, but you need to take some steps you need to put effort into that though. It's not going to happen on its own, but if you put some effort in, there's fresh life around the corner. Okay, and then a message from your subconscious about this, Knight of Pentacles. I do think that you, underneath some sadness or certain things you're attached to and struggling to let go of, I do think you crave to find new life, to find something that you can really care for and tend to and like assertively be engaged in. Yeah. So hopefully that's helpful around the attachment question. We are now going to look at the yes, no, maybe aspect of your yes, no question. And we are going to do this in a way that gives a few different possibilities. I think that this is part of my compromise in coming back to yes, no, maybes, is like a lot of us can pick a pile because there's like some resonance and similar themes weaving through the question we have, but not where I've technically struggled in the past in giving hard core yes, no's, is I just feel like those similar threads turn out very differently for each of us. And so where I'm coming into a way to figure out how to do this in a way that makes more sense to me is having you do that attachment question, kind of digging into your question in a nuanced way, and then coming back to the yes, no, and making 3 piles. And in a very simple way then showing, so we're going to pick 3 piles. I'm going to do actually 1 pile to show you what I mean, that this isn't for anyone. But say this is, I'm going to do 3 piles. Say this is pile 3 and that's the pile you chose. I'm going to roll an astro dice that is, or a dice, I should say, that has 12 numbers on it. 1 through 5 is no. 6 and 7 are maybe. 8 through 12 are yes. And then we're also going to look at an animal card. So in this example, we've got elephant, grounding, and it says, ground your energies and emotions deep into the earth. And then So this would be a no, and it's giving you some advice that there's something you need to find more grounding around in this question, or grounding would help you in terms of having a no. So that example being done, let's move into the actual 3 piles. So again, you're going to choose one of the 3 piles as holding your yes, no, maybe. And then 1 through 5 in the dice is a no. 6 and a 7 is maybe. 8 through 12 is yes. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so take a look at these 3 piles. Fill into which one has your actual yes, no, maybe. And I'll give you just a second here. I'll count to like 3 in my head. Okay, so we'll start with pile 1, and it is Peacock, self-love, time to celebrate you and all of your magnificent light. And the answer is 10, so a yes for pile 1. Pile 2, we have Panda with balance. Ask how to bring balance to the situation and into your heart. Okay. And we have a 7, so this is a maybe. So yeah, something about balance here that you need to investigate. So it's saying that there's like a little bit more information needed, time needed, effort needed, whatever it is, but there's something around this question that needs balance in order to get a yes. Okay, pile 3, you have Ladybird with luck. All of your manifesting positive thoughts and visualizations have been heard. And you guys have, a yes. So pile 1 is a yes, pile 3 is a yes, pile 2 is a maybe. If this style of reading made sense to you and resonated and worked out, I'd love to hear as I kind of experiment with this weekly Friday yes, no, maybe series. Yeah, just feedback would be great if this did resonate or didn't resonate. Okay, I'm going to leave you there. I always appreciate like, share, and subscribe. Definitely helps my channel as well as lets me know what you guys are liking. And definitely always appreciative for kind and thoughtful comments. And but thank you regardless of any of those, whether you do them or not, for coming to my readings and supporting the channel. All right, see you guys. Hello, pile 2. Welcome to your yes, no, maybe reading. Before we get to, and I always like to touch upon your stone. You guys picked this beautiful citrine, which I'll put to the side. Before I get into your yes, no, maybe, which will be kind of a quick thing at the very end, I want you to think of your question and something that would be insightful to know beyond yes, no, maybe here. And phrase that, I'm going to call it attachment question with more of an open-ended how, what, why, describe, that kind of thing. And so we're going to look at that attachment question to get a little bit more a little deeper into what's going on around this question. And we're going to look at 3 cards. We're going to look at an underlying issue, an action step that could be taken based on that issue, and then a message from your subconscious. And then after that, we will get into kind of a quick, interesting yes-no process. Okay. So if you don't have that attachment question yet, you can pause here for a minute to get clear on what that is. And when you're ready, we will jump forward. So, underlying issue. We've got 9 of Swords. So some anxiety here. Potentially some negative thinking could be affecting this whatever you kind of secondarily asked, that attachment question. Something about really starting to observe your thoughts, observe any negativity. If there's some anxiety here, a lot of times you can squash that just by taking one little step towards something. So let's see what an action step is, because that may be the thing that really helps to ease your mind a little bit. We've got Page of Cups. So some curiosity about your emotions. I would maybe do like some journaling. That could really help, or offering some love out into the world, giving someone a compliment, writing out some compliments to yourselves. But this does feel like an offering of positivity out into the world, whether that's to yourself through writing, just writing about something positive, giving a compliment, something in doing that will help to ease, some mental anguish right now. Okay, and then a message from your subconscious is the Star in reverse. Yeah, I mean, this definitely plays off of the 9 of Swords to me. Like there's a lack of belief here. I would pose the question, is there something you don't believe in around your original yes/no question? Is there something you doubt? Like, do you feel like you're going to get a no? This doesn't mean you'll get a no, but sometimes we can create self-fulfilling prophecies, right? And so there may be something about changing your mindset that changes an outcome here. And I do think that this action step will actually help your subconscious as well. It will help both of these. It's like start offering some love out into the world, as well as toward yourself. So hopefully that was insightful around the kind of attachment question you created around your yes, no, maybe. So we are going to get into the actual yes, no, maybe here. And I've designed this in a way it's going to be pretty quick and simple. I have struggled with these yes, no's for a while. I feel... Here's my underlying thing that I've struggled with, is I feel like a lot of people will come to a pile because there's, a similar resonance around their question. But I'm not always confident with such a collective group that things are going to turn out exactly as yes for everyone drawn in there. I feel like even though a lot of people may be drawn in with a similar resonance around like a theme of a question, those answers are still going to vary. So it makes it, I always struggle to give a definite yes, no because of that. And so what I'm doing here is I'm going to create 3 groups now that are going to, show in a really quick, simple way that yes, no, maybe, but choosing your pile within the pile. Okay, so there's 3 piles here. Fill into which one is calling to you, and we are going to see the card underneath, which is an animal card, which is going to give kind of a vibe around that yes, no, maybe question. And then I'll also be rolling this 12-sided dice. 1 through 5 will be no, 6 and 7 will be maybe, and 8 through 12 will be yes. So I'll give you just a few seconds here to focus on those piles before I dive into those. And if you need to pause, you can do that as well. Okay, starting with pile 1, we've got Honeybee, Divine Feminine. It says you are being called on to rise. And let's roll your dice. You've got a 9, so it's yes, which makes sense with that card, you're being called on to rise. It feels very like active in a positive way. So yes for pile 1. Pile 2, you have Kangaroo with Courage. And it says you are being tested. Have faith and stand in your truth. Okay, let's roll the dice for pile 2. 7, this is a maybe. And I would go back to the earlier cards where we looked at underlying cause with your attachment question, that there may be something about mindset that determines moving this out of a maybe toward a yes, is like trying to put some love into the world or towards yourself, to kind of soften some doubt and soften some pessimism or mental struggles. Okay, pile 3, we have Antelope, New Pathways. And it says, consider whether you are happy on your current path. And then let's roll your dice. 2, and this is a no. And that makes it's interesting how the dice really aligned with what the cards said. Yeah, this question may not be leading you down the right path for you right now. So just something about your path right now you need to look at. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. I hope this resonated. If so, always appreciate the likes and shares and subscribes. Also, always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments. This helps me feel that human touch out there. And beyond any of those things, I am just grateful that you come and support my channel, and thank you for letting me read for you, and I will see you in future readings. Hello, pile 3. Welcome to your yes, no, maybe reading. You guys picked this blue Orca Agate. So, in kind of experimenting with this Friday series, I've done a lot of the yes, no, maybes. A couple times I've sort of swayed away from them and just wanted you to ask more open-ended questions, but everyone really, gets drawn to the yes, no, maybes. So I'm just trying to find a way to do those that you guys like and that I feel more positive about, because sometimes the yes, no, maybes feel a little black and white for me in terms of a collective, if I was sitting across from one person, I would be more okay with it, but like collectives are coming. And I feel like people get drawn to piles for various reasons, certain resonances, but I don't feel always that everyone coming to one pile should be getting exactly the same yes or no, right? So I've kind of created a compromise. So we'll see how this goes this week. What I'm initially going to do is have you think of your yes, no, maybe question, and think of something you would like more insight into around that, beyond just that simple yes, no, maybe. What would be useful insight to you? And I'm calling it an attachment question that has a more open-ended quality to it. So how, what, why, something that would give you insight and connection to the yes, no, maybe question. And we're going to look at 3 cards kind of showing an underlying need, an action step based on that need, and a message from your subconscious. And then after that, we'll get into kind of a more quick yes, no, maybe, but in a new way of doing it. Okay, so let's get those 3 cards. And I'll just stay quiet for a minute while I get all 3 cards out so you can be thinking about that attachment question, something you'd like more insight into about your yes, no, maybe. Okay, if you're not quite clear on that attachment question yet, you can pause here and then I'll just jump into this whenever you're ready. Okay, underlying need around this attachment question. You have Page of Pentacles. Like a lighter, there may be like a heaviness around this, or an attachment to things being a certain way, but like a lightening up to be more curious, be more exploratory, especially around your values. How is your attachment question and your yes and no in general connected to what you value in life? And does that make you smile? Does that make you want to, does it bring you, is something about this question bringing you pleasure? In like a light, fun, you know, child, not in an immature way, but like a childlike way, like a purity there. There's something that needs a little bit more lightness and purity there. So an action step based on that you could look at is the Fool, connecting to impulse. Getting everything out of mind, everything out of like anxiety, and just sitting with yourself in quiet for a minute and breathing, and then asking your heart is like, what do you want to do right now? What do you want in this moment? And doing something impulsive that just connects you to what you want in a moment. It doesn't have to be around your question, but it's just kind of getting you into a more pure center. And something about doing that may then open you up to seeing your question in a lighter way, right? Okay, and then something from your subconscious, 10 of Swords. This is saying that you're kind of like coming to the end of a chapter, end of a cycle, something that you're kind of exhausted of. So that can be good news in a way, like you've hit the wall with something, it's time for a change, and that is about to take place. So for some of you, that may even answer something for you. Yeah, so this is kind of just giving you a little bit of insight into something a little more open-ended around your question. And now we're going to jump into the yes-no aspect. And this is where I'm going to shift things up a little from how I used to do yes-nos. This is actually going to be a pretty quick process. But I'm making you pick a pile within your pile, because I feel like I said at the start of this reading, not everyone coming here, not everyone should have a yes or a no or a maybe. I think, you know, there's similar energy maybe around your questions, but it's going to turn out differently for, you know, some of you. So I'm going to make 3 piles. And you are going to pick the one that you feel most drawn to in terms of your yes, no, maybe. And it's just going to be a quick 1 card as well as with a dice. And the dice will be the actual yes, no, maybe. The card will give just like a little tiny bit of context. It's a 12-sided dice 1 through 5 is no, 6 and 7 is maybe, 8 through 12 is yes. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to tune into these 3 piles and fill into which one has your aligned yes, no, maybe. Okay, we'll start with pile 1. If you're not quite ready, you can pause here, but for those of you who are ready, we'll start with pile 1. You guys have Swan, and it says graceful transformation. And these words are teeny tiny. I'm trying to read them. It's getting dark in my room. Soften your heart and find your flow. So Swan, graceful transformation. Okay, let's roll your dice. And this is a big yes, it's 12. Okay, pile 2. You guys have butterfly with emerging. And it says, take the leap of faith. Kind of connected to the Fool in your attachment question. Okay. And you have an 8, which is a yes, which makes sense. Take the leap with something here. And then pile 3, we have owl, sight. Detach your emotions from situations that you cannot control. Sorry. It's getting a little dark in here to read that teeny tiny stuff. Okay. So owl and sight, and your dice is 7. So it's a maybe. And yeah, I would just lean into the insight we got from your attachment question, which is like maybe there's something you need to lighten up about in order to see things from like a more pure, simple perspective. Yeah. Okay, if this resonated, I always am appreciative of likes and shares and subscribes, and definitely always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments. Helps me feel the humanness on the other side of this. But regardless of any of those things, I am so grateful to have you guys come here. So grateful that you support my channel. Thank you for letting me read for you, and I hope to see you in future readings. Hello, pile 4. Welcome to your yes, no, maybe reading. I am doing a little bit of an experiment. If you come to these regularly, you've probably noticed I've been experimenting with this Friday reading for several weeks now. You know, I did the yes, no, maybe for a long time. There were a few things I sort of struggle with the yes, no, maybes. So I switched for a few weeks into doing more of an open, ask a question in an open-ended way. But it seems that people really want the yes, no, maybe. So I'm trying to find a compromise. And so I'll just kind of take you through the reading as it goes. It's pretty simple, but to start with, think of something around your yes, no, maybe that you would like some insight into beyond just that yes, no question, yes, no essence. And we're going to create what I would call an attachment question to gain some insight into this question in a more open-ended way. So you may phrase that as how, what, why, describe, into whatever it is you would like some insight into around your yes, no before, and then we will jump into the yes, no in a very simple but in a different way than what I've usually done. Okay, so I am going to shuffle and pull 3 cards, and I'm going to keep my mouth shut while I do that so you have some time to gain clarity about what this attachment question is for you. Okay, if you are not clear yet on what your attachment question is, you can pause here. Again, this is just insight into something about your yes/no that you want some context or some information or some depth around. Okay, so first we're going to, and you can pause here if you're not quite clear yet, but when you're ready, we'll start with an underlying issue here. And we've got the World. So you may feel like you're holding a lot on your plate right now. But this is also saying, I'm feeling the sense that it's saying like you're more dynamic and you're stronger than you think you are. You need to sort of believe that you can have success. Like more belief in yourself and your strength and your capability. More belief in your manifesting potential is like an underlying thing you need to look at here. And then an action step you can take based on that is 9 of Pentacles. I love that. The way I'm reading it in this particular circumstance is this like need to celebrate you and your beauty, and that you deserve all that your heart desires, that you are inherently valuable, that you are inherently beautiful, that you, if you drop into just loving yourself, that's the action step you need to take, is to like drop into loving yourself more, celebrating yourself more, putting on a dress or a nice top or your favorite pants or shoes or something that just makes you feel excited to kind of be in beauty. Go somewhere where you need to put on clothes you love and be out in the world and just like celebrate being you. Something about doing that will help you to connect to your strength, will help you to connect to how capable you are. But it's sort of like maybe you're too serious right now, and so a step you need to take is just celebrating yourself and celebrating life and celebrating how valuable you are and putting something beautiful on. I don't know why that keeps coming up. Okay, a message from your subconscious is 5 of Swords. I don't know if you're scared of like holding your strength and capability, because it would mean showing others up, you know, like I can give an analogy of something I've definitely grown out of, but like I played tennis when I was really young. I played tennis for a long time, but when I was really young and when I was first doing competitions, I would feel bad about winning, and sometimes I would lose just because I felt bad, which is so silly. But there's something about that, like, are you taking a dive in something because you don't want to like outshine others, you don't feel like you deserve to win, or you feel like it would mean that you would have to move on from certain people because you've kind of outgrown them? There's something about this, like you're tying your own hands behind your back, I feel like, in some situation because of others, but it's like you are doing it, they're not. That's something from your subconscious you may want to examine. Okay, so that is just some insight for you. And now we'll get to the actual yes, no, maybe, which is going to be very simple, but where I am trying to compromise is I'm going to make you pick a pile within this pile, because not everyone that comes here, I feel like would get, and where I've struggled with my other yes, no's is like, I don't think everyone, in a collective necessarily is getting just a yes, or just a no, or just a maybe. So making 3 piles makes me feel a lot more confident and easy about this, that like, while the resonance of why you're here may be the same, the outcomes may vary a little bit. So let's pick 3 piles. And then it's just this one card. It's an animal wisdom card with a little message, and then I'm going to roll this 12-sided dice. 1 through 5 is no, 6 and 7 is maybe, 8 through 12 is yes. So pretty simple, but gives some diversity into outcome. Okay, so pile 1, we have koi carp with abundance. And it says, hold on, I need to put this into the light to see it better. Move with the flow of abundance around and through you. Okay, so that's a message in relation to whatever answer you get, but let's roll the dice to get that answer. And we have 10, so that makes sense. The yes, I was feeling yes before that even happened. Okay, so pile 2, Raven, wise woman, a change is coming. Okay. And I can't help but notice sort of these lunar symbols here, phases of the moon. So, and it's just 3 phases. So I'm going to say there's actually also timing connected to whatever answer you get. So the clarity of the yes, no, maybe, whatever you get, I think is going to come within the next week. Okay, so let's roll your dice though. And it's 5, so it's a no. But regardless of the no, there is some kind of change coming, and the change may be the reason why there's a no here, and maybe that change is actually better, right? And 5 is actually a number of change, so that's double there. So I would look for something within a week, some kind of change happening within a week that is congruent with why you get a no, but also congruent with a change coming that may actually be great. Who knows? Okay, pile 3, you have elephant, grounded. Sorry, and then I have to get this in the light. It's getting dark in here. Ground your energies and emotions deep into the earth. Okay. And then let's roll your dice. 11. So that is a yes, but there's something about, and I also think of elephants as being able, they're such strong creatures. And I know one of my decks with the elephant is sort of like about being able to trudge through obstacles. So it's sort of like keep your eye on the prize and sort of charge through any obstacles here. And I like the 11 connected to that wisdom, that insight as well, as like belief, hope, change of frequency, but fortitude too, just like believe, charge forward. Yeah, there we go. All right, I hope this resonated. If so, I'm always very appreciative of your support, whether that's a like or a share, or if you're not subscribed yet, that's always great to have happen as well. And then I'm definitely always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments, to feel the humanness out there. But regardless of any of that, thank you for coming. I just appreciate you being here, and especially those that come week after week and support my readings. And yeah, I hope to see all of you in future readings. All right, see ya.